Hey class, I'm Mr. Loesel, or Mr. L, and I'll be your math teacher this year. I know that last year ended kind of crazy, and a lot of y'all are anxious now about how this year's going to go, but don't worry, a lot of us teachers are feeling that same anxiety. We're all trying to figure this out together, and we will, I promise. Last year ended really crazy for me. As some of y'all know, a week after the school closed in March, I ended up in the hospital and was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of cancer in my throat. It was a stage 4 cancer, and there is no stage 5. I had surgery in April and started chemotherapy treatment in May. My doctor said I wouldn't be able to teach for at least the next few months, but I've never really been good with authority, so I just kept on teaching. And because we were doing remote learning, most days I taught right here from my hospital room, which is where I'm recording from now. And I'm actually finishing my last round of chemo this Sunday, the day before classes start, so I'm hoping to start the year cancer-free. And again, my doctor recommends that I take leave of absence for the next couple of months while my body recovers. But I wasn't about to leave my 8th graders to finish last year with a substitute, and I ain't about to make y'all start the year with one either. I don't expect to be 100% for a while, but like I said, we're all in this together, and that's how we'll get through it. On a lighter note, I'm a dad. I have 2 boys. Sean is 10 years old and starting 5th grade this year, and Aiden is 7 and starting 2nd grade. Because of them, I've become pretty good at Fortnite, and I know who Lil Skies and the baby are. We get season passes to Carowinds every year, except this one. We used to go to the movies a lot at Concord Mall, back when people did those sort of things. I'm also really known for telling awful and corny dad jokes, but y'all could pretend that they're funny anyway to try and score points. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, before moving to Charlotte about 9 years ago. Back home, I ran a small hip-hop record label for a few years. I managed 11 artists. We released 4 albums, worked with some pretty well-known artists and producers, and ended up with over 1 million paid song streams and purchases. I also had a YouTube channel where I interviewed successful artists and producers, and that had about 1.2 million views. In school, I wasn't a very good student. Well, I was throughout most of elementary. My standardized testing scores were in the 95th percentile, so I was smart. Problem is, in 7th and 8th grade, I figured out that I was also funny. So entertaining the class and driving my teachers crazy became my new obsession. I also learned that I could stop studying and doing homework, but could still pull 80s and 90s on my tests. So my grades slipped from A's to C's, but that was cool with me. Then I got to high school and learned that I could cut class without getting in trouble, so I did, only to end up failing 5 out of my 8 classes. I had to move to Florida to attend summer school in order not to get left back, because they let you take 3 classes there, while New York would only let you take 2. So I took classes in the summer during both my freshman and sophomore years, and it was pretty terrible. Some good came out of it though. It served as a real wake-up call. I stopped cutting classes and started actually trying again. I was lucky because I was already a really great writer and pretty good at math, and so I wasn't too far behind. I worked my tail off and ended high school with some reasonably strong grades. I didn't enroll in college until I was 35. I had a great career before I began teaching, but I was also very lucky. I found a lot of people who were willing to take chances on me, who mentored me. Most of the people I grew up with still live in our old neighborhood. Their sons go to the same schools we went to. Meanwhile, my kids have every advantage. My friends back home, a lot of them are smarter than me and work just as hard. I just happen to be the one who caught the breaks. And that makes me feel guilty. It's a big reason why I gave up my career making a 6-figure salary and flying around first class all around the country, so I can go back to school to learn how to teach, where I now make about 1/3 of what my salary was, and I work way harder than I ever did before. It's also why I chose to teach here at Albemarle Road Middle, because I know that there's a lot of you who may have fallen into similar traps that I did. So I wanted to be here to share my experience and try and help you avoid the pitfalls that are set up for you to fail, to provide guidance and hopefully be a mentor for some of y'all. I don't care what you did or didn't do over the past couple years. You have a clean slate now, and I believe that all of you are capable of being successful. I don't buy that any of y'all are bad at math yet. You're too young to know if you're bad at math. If you trust me, I promise to work with each and every one of you to make sure you understand not just what we're doing, but why we're doing it and how it relates to the real world. We'll make mistakes together in this class. Lots of great mistakes. And that's how we'll learn. We'll try, we'll fail, we'll get back up and try again. Nobody in this class will make fun of anybody for trying, because trying is the bravest thing that any of us could do. It shows vulnerability. And that's how we grow. My doctor said I wouldn't be able to teach while undergoing treatment. I didn't accept that. Some of you don't believe that you could do math. I'm urging you not to accept that either. Let me help you, and I promise that we'll be proud of what we achieve together. We only have a year, and it goes by so fast. So let's take that time and do something great. I look forward to our journey together, and I promise that you can always count on me. Peace and love, Mr. L. Oh yeah, and I hate triangles.